Have you ever noticed that during a crisis, some people get richer, while most people just get more scared? It's not a coincidence, it's a business model. Fear is the most profitable currency ever created. Think about it. When has a headline ever told you to relax, and that everything is going to be just fine? Almost never. Instead, we're bombarded with messages of imminent doom, impending collapse, and constant crisis. Why? Because fear sells. It sells faster and more effectively than hope, logic, or reason ever could. Welcome to the fear economy. This is the invisible system that profits from your panic. Every major crisis, whether it's a war, a recession, or a global health scare, becomes a massive business opportunity. When you're afraid, you act impulsively. You don't stop to think, you just react. You buy things you don't need. You accept policies you would normally question. And you give up freedoms for a feeling of security. Fear is the ultimate shortcut to compliance. A logical argument might take minutes to convince you, but a jolt of panic can make you obey in seconds. And here's the most brilliant and terrifying part of this whole system. They don't actually need to control you directly. They just need to control what you're afraid of. They don't need chains when they can create a constant state of anxiety. When you're in a panic, obedience doesn't feel like submission, it feels like safety. You're not being forced. You're choosing the sensible path to protect yourself and your family. That feeling of taking action, even if it's an irrational action, gives you a temporary sense of control in a world that feels completely out of control. And that's exactly what they're counting on. Let's look at the hard data, because this isn't just a theory. A market analysis from 2023 revealed a shocking trend. During every major global crisis over the past decade, the profit margins of the top 100 global corporations increased by an average of 14%. While the world was panicking, they were profiting. Think about that. The more chaos there was in the headlines, the more money flowed to the top. This isn't about one industry. It's across the board, from tech to pharmaceuticals to retail. And why does this work so well? Let's turn to behavioral science. Studies have shown that fear-driven news articles get, on average, 3 times more engagement, more clicks, more shares, more comments than neutral or positive content. News outlets know this. Social media algorithms are literally designed to promote whatever gets the strongest emotional reaction. And fear is one of the strongest emotions we have. You are algorithmically programmed to be fed a diet of dread because it keeps you glued to your screen. Your attention is the product, and your fear is the bait. Let's take a concrete example that we all lived through. Panic buying. Remember the empty shelves? The frantic rush for toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and canned goods. Who benefited from that? The big box stores and online retail giants. Their stock prices soared. Their founders became even richer. The panic that emptied the shelves for regular people filled the pockets of billionaires. This isn't an isolated incident. The same pattern repeats itself every single time. A housing crisis. Someone sells you a new financial product to protect you. A political scandal. Someone sells you a subscription to their unbiased news source. An environmental scare. A whole new market of eco-friendly products appears overnight. Each crisis is a new product launch. So, what's the solution? If they are manufacturing fear on an industrial scale, how do we possibly fight back? It's simpler than you think, but it's not easy. The solution is not to find a better source of news or to try and change the system from the outside. The solution is to change your own internal response. The key is to control your emotions, not the headlines. You cannot stop them from broadcasting fear, but you can choose not to tune in with your whole emotional being. The moment you stop reacting and start responding, you take back your power. A reaction is instant, emotional, and thoughtless. It's the panic buy. A response is measured, calm, and considered. It involves pausing, taking a breath, and asking a simple question. Who benefits from me feeling this way? When you see a terrifying headline, instead of immediately clicking and sharing, stop. Ask yourself, is this information designed to help me or to manipulate me? What action am I being pushed to take, and who profits from that action? This isn't about becoming a cynic or burying your head in the sand. It's about becoming a conscious consumer of information. It's about building emotional resilience. Practice mindfulness. Meditate. Go for a walk in nature. Disconnect from your devices for a few hours each day. These aren't just wellness cliches. They are acts of rebellion in the fear economy. They create a space between the stimulus, the scary headline, and your response. In that space lies your freedom. Think of your mind like a fortress. The media can lay siege to it with an army of frightening news, but they can only get in if you lower the drawbridge. Your emotional reaction is that drawbridge. When you maintain your composure, when you insist on thinking critically, even when your heart is pounding, you keep the gates closed. You remain the ruler of your own mind. They can shout all they want from the outside, but their power over you vanishes. Let this sink in. They sell fear, you pay with your freedom. Every time you let panic guide your decisions, you are making a transaction. You're trading a piece of your autonomy, your critical thinking, and your peace of mind for a fleeting illusion of safety. But true safety doesn't come from obeying the loudest, most frightening voice in the room. True safety comes from the quiet confidence of a mind that is in control of itself. So, the next time you feel that familiar knot of anxiety tightening in your stomach as you scroll through your feed, remember this conversation. Recognize the game being played. The fear economy only works if you participate. You can choose to opt out. You can choose to be calm in the eye of the storm. You can choose to be the person who thinks while others are panicking. That is where your true power lies. The moment you stop reacting, you start ruling. Don't let their business model become your reality. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that empowers you to think for yourself. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay calm, stay critical, and stay free.